We are live. Hello, Radu. Just sending out some notifications for people on Discord. Hey, Stefan. Hey, Jose. Cuadrado. Jose Cuadrado. Is that right? Hello, Orikimaru. That's perfect. Thank you. I suppose I should probably send a link in the Discord too, no? Okay. Hold on. Still not very good at this whole YouTube thing. Content, live. This guy. Cool. Okay. Cool, let's give it like one more minute and then we'll jump in. How's the volume level? Should be pretty good because I was doing the same thing this morning, right? And it was okay, they said, so. Kai, I think you're having some internet issues. Stream is buffering a lot. Is that the case for everybody? Is the stream buffering a lot? Completely fine for milk. Okay. So maybe it's on your end, Orokimaru. It's a bit delayed. Let me start casting. There we go. Now you can see my keystrokes too. YouTube says 2-second delay. I mean, that's pretty reasonable for a live stream, isn't it? Now super fast and fine. Okay, awesome. All right, sounds like that's all right. Cool, well, we'll get started. This is fifth lovely stream. So, oh dear, stuff is falling off my desk. Okay. Fifth lovely stream. And, oh yeah, the best part about these lovely streams as opposed to the humble ones is that, I get to work locally and then I have like Zellage and all the goodies. Okay. Surav says, what are we really building, humble or lonely? We're going to build humble in lonely. It's not humble or lonely, it's humble in lonely. Cool, so let's just jump in. Let's try to figure out what we want to do today, because I'm not really sure. I usually jump into these sort of unprepared, because then you guys get to help me decide what to do, which is kind of fun. So, tests are all passing. These are our tests. README is usually where I start today. So we have, okay, no, we also have this test thing here. We have all of this, if I remember correctly, lexed and parsed. Stream is now fine. Stream is buffering for Surav too. It seems like it's not for everybody, so it seems like it's just for a few people's network are a little rough, so I don't think it's on my end. Yeah, fine for Stefan. Okay. So this entire, all of the syntax that you can see here is currently all the syntax we have. Examples of all the syntax we have. It's all lexed and parsed. So that leaves us with a few different directions we could go, as always, right? So this is still obviously very little, like a very little amount of syntax, right? Like we don't even have ifs or loops or anything like that. We don't have type definitions. We don't have generics. Yeah, we don't have any of that kind of stuff, right? So on the one hand, we could go and add more syntax and just lex and parse that, which I don't really want to do, but we could. On the other hand, we could take what we do have and start trying to do our semantic analysis pass, right? So like type checking and checking to make sure variables are defined before they're used and all that kind of stuff, using the AST that we got from the parser. Well, the first option isn't a bad option, I suppose. I said I didn't want to do it. That's not really true. There's kind of a lot of stuff to decide, right, as far as syntax and stuff, because we also have to decide how like the module system will work and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot. So we might actually not be able to do like compilation and type checking stuff until we decide some of that stuff. So maybe that would be good. Alternatively, we could make a tree sitter grammar, which I'm always trying to get you guys to agree on. So that we actually have syntax highlighting, and then this will look nice, like a real language, because it's always hard to look at white text. Which of those sounds, or okay, first of all, any other suggestions aside from those, or at least are you guys agree that those seem like the sort of the obvious directions we could go right now? It's buffering again. So yeah, what do you guys think? Any other? Let me make a little poll real quick. Let's do a poll. Now it's fine. Okay, great. Start a poll. What should we work on next? Jose Cuadrado wants the tree sitter. Tree sitter does sound fun. Stream's fine on your side. Great. Okay. Let's say more language. Okay, I say like lexing and parsing more language. More of the language. More of the lang. I can't fit too much. Okay, more of the lang. Compiling what we have of the lang. Or tree sitter grammar. Syntax highlight. Man, this character limit is brutal. Tree sitter. Alright. That should do the trick. Here's your poll. Yeah, sorry, Dasuki. If I get more people telling me that it's happening, then I think it was my problem. But I don't think it is because most people are not having the issue. So now it's good. Okay, cool. All right, right now we're split 50-50 between Tree Sitter. Ooh, now Tree Sitter's winning. What do you guys think? Tree Sitter is on top. What do you think, Stefan? More people are voting. Cool. Oh, you're out of the loop. No worries. We're trying to decide what to work on next. You can see the polls up there. Yeah, it's pretty close. Pretty even. You guys got to remember that if we're doing this tree sitter thing, that means we have to write JavaScript. Because tree sitter parsers are written in JavaScript. Ooh, compiling what we have of the lane just kind of caught up. I feel like that's the one I would least want to do. Just because I feel like we don't even have enough to even like think reasonably about it. Like we don't even know, we haven't even decided like if when you run a lovely file, like does it just start from the top and run through, or do we have like a main function, or how does this even work? We haven't decided any of that. I feel like it should probably have a main function, right? Because we want it to map pretty closely to ASM. Yep, tied between tree sitter and compiling. Nobody wants to add more. Well, a few people do, but not everybody wants to lex and parse more. Remember that lexing and parsing also includes like making decisions about syntax and all that kind of fun stuff too. So I think any of these would be really fun. Well, come on, we need some tiebreakers. Okay, there we go. Oh, no, never mind. Oh, tree sitter's on top. Okay. All right. Yeah, I know, everything sounds fun, right? It's hard to decide. Let's just do tree sitter. Because that would, like, it forces you to formalize on the syntax, right? Which we also kind of already did with the parser, but, like, it forces you to really think about how you want the syntax to really look. It's also pretty quick and easy. I've done it before, and it's pretty simple to write a tree sitter grammar. Making it work in neovim is something I haven't actually ever done successfully, so that might be a bit of a hassle, but it shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, and then going forward, it'll look nice. So that's also fun. So I'll end the poll there. Tree sitter 1. We're going to do a tree sitter grammar. So I think we use this thing, which I have, 0.25. Let's see if that's up to date. I'm going to make a new browser tab. Tree sitter. Cool. Go to GitHub. Current version is, oh yeah, this is the current version. Check it out. All right. Yep, grammar will force some decisions. Yeah. All right. So it's using parsers, creating parsers, getting started. Isn't there like a, yeah, we have the tree sitter CLI already. All right, I'm going to pull this over to this side and pull this over to this side and close the sidebar and then shrink this down because we don't need that much. Okay. Cool, so I'm gonna go into active projects. This is all my stuff I'm working on. Okay. So okay, we could do this in the monorepo, but it kind of like you end up pointing stuff to like a GitHub repo that's literally just this. So I think I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna leave the tree sitter parser like standalone. It's also not gonna depend on anything from the monorepo, so it doesn't really matter. I'll just make a new one. So Victor. You name it tree sitter. See, this is where I've done it before. Tree sitter fen. But this is not fen. This is lovely. Tree sitter lovely. And then I'm gonna open that up here. Okay. And then can we confirm some other people that Dasuki is the only one having these buffering problems, or is it everybody? Because he seems to be having some trouble. All right, tree sitter lovely. And then I'm going to, what do you do? Tree sitter init. Sorry, that's tree sitter space init. Parser name. This would probably be lovely, no? Camel case would yes be lovely. The title, that's not even camel case, that's Pascal case. That seems like an error. Title, yep, that's good. Description. What's a description, guys? A programming language or a systems programming, I don't know, a low level language built for the humble OS. You open your browser and it looks good now. Okay. Repository URL. It will be like here, no? Tree sitter. Sorry, not GuyJH. Lovely. I don't need funding. TextureMate scope. Yeah, that looks good. File types will be .lv. Well, lovely is the file type, I suppose. Hey, I see. Version, yeah, 0.1's good. License, MIT is good. Author name, what is that, me? Oh, now you guys all know my real name. Just kidding. Kaya is my name. It's what people call me. Micaiah is my whole name. Micaiah Henderson. Author email. Uh-oh. Do I want you guys all to have this? I'm gonna hold that off for now. What is my URL? innocencelabs.com. Cool. That looks good. Now we have this. Let's get in it, and then I'm gonna make a new repo on GitHub. So let's go to GitHub. What is behind this? That's making it. Okay, close that. There we go. Wait, no, new repository. Isn't the file type LV? Yeah, but that's the file like ending, but that's not the file type, right? Tree. You can use your GitHub email, I guess. Okay. Tree sitter. It's alright. I can always fill this stuff in later. Tree sitter. Lovely. You think that's what they meant? Oh, okay. Well, I can change that later. A tree sitter grammar for the lovely programming language. Tree sitter grammar. Okay, we'll make it open source. Create repository. Shoink. Copy that. Get remote. Add origin. This thing. Cool. And now initial commit. Push origin master. And now it's on here. Coolio. Let's get back to the documentation. All right, now we need to just get in here and start doing it. So you go to like grammar.js and you write it all in here. I think is what happened. You probably need to like npm install or something. See, look at all those errors. They went away. Uh-oh. We got an error. Maybe I have to tree sitter generate first. Okay, and then npmi. And sure enough, that worked. Okay. So maybe I should have made that the initial commit. Is node modules, do I have git ignore? Node modules. It says it's ignored. But I'm not seeing oh yeah, there's a git ignore. Oh cool. Cool. So let's make that our initial commit actually. Okay. That should do nicely. All right, now we'll write the grammar. So yeah, we know about this grammar DSL. Here's all the things we could have, and here's writing the grammar. Right? It kind of looks like this. So maybe I'll just keep one of these open as a reference. But I did this fairly recently, so I'm fairly comfortable. Alright, so let's remember, we can pretty much just look at our parser, right, like our AST, and just look at this, right, like a program is just a list, a vec, right, of expression statements, so we can just like literally copy that exact same thing. So a source file, I guess that's fine, that's just as good. Is like a, what do we do here? It's like a sequence of, we could call them statements, right? Expression statements. All of our statements are expression statements, so that's why they're called expression statements. We'll just do that. Expression statement. Right? And this should be giving us an error, but it's really not, because this is JavaScript. Alright, we'll make an expression statement. Will be something like this. What is an expression statement? Why is this like not? Oh well. An expression statement. I'm gonna make a new window here. An expression statement is really just wrap around an expression. I wrote expression. Oh, that's why. Thank you. I see. Oh, see, now it exists. Now it's a real thing. Cool. An expression statement is like a sequence of an expression, right? It always has an expression. And then optional semicolon, right? Although there has to be a semicolon between two. So maybe it would be better to express this as a yeah, this probably isn't the best way to write this. Maybe it should be like a yeah, just like a semicolon separated list of expressions, I think would be better. So, okay, what's the best way to do this again? Probably like a sequence of let me think. Expressions. So there's going to be an expression. So let's make an expression. Expression looks for now just like this. All right, and then we'll have expression here, which okay, it always starts with an expression, right? And then the stuff you're doing right now, is this kind of software development or what? Yeah, this is software development. I'm developing software, so. Okay, and then like a 0 or more, right? How do you do that? What's the 0 or more? Where's that thing? Sequences, alternatives, repetitions, repeat. Oh, so yeah, there's repeat, which is 0 or more, and then there's repeat 1, which is 1 or more. So we want 0 or more, right? Repeat. This will be a sequence, right? It'd be a semicolon, and then another expression. No. All right, that should be good. I'm gonna make this a hair bigger. Okay. So that's what a source file is, right? It's a sequence of expressions. Does this make sense to everybody? I think it makes sense, right? We have a sequence. There's always at least one expression, and then there might tacked on to the end of it be, you know, a semicolon and then another expression, and then a semicolon and another expression. So that should be good. And then expressions. Expressions are, there's a bunch of different kinds of expressions, right? So let's go to expression here. Can be any of these things. So let's do. All right, this is where Copilot's nice. So update node, there we go, and that'll come back. Okay. Parse, or what is it? Grammar.js. Okay. So expression. What's the like? I need a choice. That's what I want. Choice. Oops. Choice. It's a choice between either an int literal, right? So int literal. We'll start with that. What does an int literal look like? Int literal. That's it, right? So just a bunch of digits. Int literal. Okay, but then it can also be an ident. Right, what's an ident look like? It looks like that. Correct. Ooh, this is already allowing for number. Oh, we did do that in our lecture. I forgot. Okay, so we're good. And then I suppose we don't need these when we're done using it. And then what else can it be? It could be a unit. A unit, which literally. Oh, this is trying to get me to use this. No, 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 no. We don't want that. We just want that. All right, so these are like expressions. It can be a prefix. Yeah, okay. Yes, Melentius Gaming's response to you, Dasuki, is perfect, right? More specifically, this is programming language development. You'd be a software developer if you wrote a program with a language he's writing. Or any language, right? All right, we got unit, and then we want, oh yeah, so infix, right? So this is infix, or we could call this, oh sorry, no, prefix. So we could call this unary or prefix. I'll call it prefix. Expression. Which looks like this. So a prefix expression looks like this. It takes that, and then, oops, not that. It's gonna be sequence of yep, exactly this. A prefix operator. Prefix operators are, well, let's do it right here. Prefix operator is a choice pretty much of these things, right? So It's either a bang or a minus or a plus. I think those are the only ones we support right now, right? We'll go ahead and add infix operators. Operator. We don't support modulo yet, but we do support exponents. And yeah, we do support all those. Cool. So then we have all those. So now we can add an infix expression, which is exactly this expression with an infix in between. And then an expression. I'm going to make this a little bigger so that comma gets on. Cool. And then we will, what else can we do? So that's infix. We can also have a variable declaration. All right, this is a little more complicated potentially, right? So it always starts with an ident, right? Yes, and then it always has a colon, and then it might have a type here, so we can do optional type. What is .lv? It's lovely. This is the language we're making. Using AI is a fantastic way to learn more of the intricate parts of it, but it won't be much good at writing the language for you. Yep. All right. Type. Yeah, okay, so I need to make this type. I guess I'll do that down here maybe. Type for now just looks like an ident. Okay, and then okay, and then there's either okay, then there's the next one is either that or this, right? And then we have an expression. Okay, so there's a variable declaration, and then functions. Okay, so then we have a function, not a function declaration, but like a function expression. I don't know, I'll call it that. Looks like this. It's a sequence. It always starts with fun, and then it has a left paren, and then it has a bunch of function parameter. We need to make this function parameter. Function parameter is a to-do. Alright, and then so we've got function parameters, and then we close it out with a right paren, and then there's a return type. So this is optional though, right? So this is optional dot type, exactly, and then we have a left brace, and then we have then we pretty much have this again, which makes me want to possibly extract this out. So if you start things with an underscore, then it doesn't actually show up in your syntax tree. Hi, I saw the title and joined stream. I've never seen you before. Awesome, thanks for joining. I'm Kaya. Nice to meet you. So we'll call this like expression list or something. And it's just gonna be this. Oops. Take that and put it there. So this is actually just an expression list. and so is the function body. So after that comes a expression list, this guy, and then this. Oops. And that is a function expression. Function parameter. Okay, so function parameter is a little more complicated maybe. So we have optionally, there can be a we'll make this really simple for now. So there might be that, and then there's going to be at least one identifier, and then there's maybe going to be another identifier. This is this is correct syntactically, but it's not like correctly representing this maybe in a tree as we'd want it to be, but that should be fine for now. And then there's always a colon, and then there's a type. All right, that should do. And then there's function calls, right, which is another type of expression. A function call looks like a sequence, starts with an ident, and then oops, and then it has a yeah, opens up parentheses, and then there's a sequence or a repeat really. What does it repeat? So optionally, repeats a sequence of an optional. Optionally, it has a sequence. Oh dear, this is complicated. Of ident colon, right? That'd be the label. That's a lot of parentheses. I gotta figure out where this is. Okay, so this is repeat. This is the sequence. This is all that, and then this is the first thing. Okay, so this thing optionally has that, but then it always has a expression here. Exactly. And then this guy matches with that guy, right? Okay, so then this would have a that. There we go. Okay, that's nice. Hey there, Redstone tutorials. Awesome. Is that all we have? I think that's it. What language do you make your language? Like, what language am I using to write my language? I'm using Rust to write lovely. But this isn't really writing a language. This is just making a tree sitter grammar for it. So then I think we do like a tree sitter generate, and then we have a parser. So we need to write some tests for this thing, because I think that's the way it's done. I'm not writing the actual language in JavaScript. Don't worry. Yeah, there's like a testing thing you can do. Test. Writing tests, cool. Okay, yeah, so you gotta like, you make a test corpus thing, and then you make one called like, I'll just make one called all syntax, because we're just gonna test everything we have. So we'll just take, oh, we have comments. Don't forget we need to do comments. So I'm gonna go over to, or I guess I have this alternative thing here. So I'm gonna go over to this. I'm just gonna copy all of this, and then I'm gonna pasta it right here. I'm gonna make a little heading here. This is how you do it, I think. These tests are kind of odd. And I'm gonna say all syntax so far, and then I'll align this so it's nice, and then make a new one of those down there. And then you add a triple dash divider, and then you expect on something like a source file, right? Now this will obviously fail. So if I, let me get rid of that, and then make one over here. I might want to make this full size at this point. Shrink this down a little bit, and then if I tree sitter generate and tree sitter test, cool. We're getting all sorts of errors. Okay, first one is because of the comments, right? So we need to be cool with comments. So for this, I'm going to run over to the other one because there's a way you do this. I'm gonna fan tree sitter fan because this had comments too. Okay, extras. You do like this. Okay. Comment white space. Gotcha. So you do something like this. Something like that. Make a little extras thing. Now what this white space is and this comment thing, that's something we need to make, I think. Oops. Fan. Tree sitter fan. Okay. Okay, white space. Okay, here's the extras. Doink. Go over to this one. We'll add those up here. Maybe down here. I don't know. That's probably good. Alright, white space. This is good. And then this isn't that, but it's actually this. Okay, let's try that again. So now we're getting still errors, but it's not at the same error, right? Okay. By the way, chat, feel free to ask any questions if you haven't done tree sitter parsers before. I'm sort of trying to go pretty fast with this, so. How? Okay, what's our problem here? Where's our tests? All syntax. So look, we're getting comment and then comment, so that's good. 2 comments, and then error. We're trying to parse this. Maybe I need to specify that this goes to the end of a line. Dot star end line. Something like that. Does that help anybody involved? Not really, I'm getting the same error. Okay, so what part are you making right now? I'm making, it's called tree sitter, is a parser generator for like syntax highlighting and creating syntax trees of languages. So I'm making that right now really quick so we can have pretty colors in my editor for the language. You're welcome. Alright, well, this is a little annoying. Like, how do I know what this error is? Maybe I start with something a lot simpler. That's probably a good idea. Start simple, peeps. Okay, so we're gonna start with something that looks like this. Without the comment. How about that? Shoink. Look, there's an error in here. Unexpected colon. So yes, we have an expression because this is an expression. It has an ident and then an unexpected colon. So for some reason we weren't expecting a colon. Alright, expression can be, oh, I forgot to list all the other types of expressions in here. That's probably the problem, isn't it? So we have prefixes, and then we have infix, and then we have variable declarations. We have all these. Yes, and I feel like variable declarations should come down here, because it's kind of the most different one. Alright, let's try this. Oh dear. Error when generating the parser. Unresolved conflict. Wait, come again? Unresolved conflict for symbol sequence. Prefix operator expression. Like a plus something. Possible interpretations. Prefix expression. Prefix operator expression. Or prefix operator. Infix expression. Okay. Okay, so you gotta do precedences. Why would a prefix operator be a plus? Yeah, positive numbers, I guess. It's in most languages, I feel like, isn't it? Alright, so I need to specify a higher precedence. How exactly do you create a programming language from scratch? If you go back to the first video, I started literally from scratch. But yeah, there's a lot of resources out there. Thorsten Ball has a great book called Writing an Interpreter in Go for an interpreted language. There's also Crafting Interpreters by Bob Nystrom, which is also great. Both those are for interpreters. Mine is compiled, hopefully one day going to be compiled. But yeah, you write a lexer, and then you write a parser, and then you write a semantic analyzer, and then a compiler, and yeah, you just kind of follow the steps. What would be the precedence here? Positive numbers before infix addition? Well, I don't really understand what the problem is here. If I have something like 2 plus 3, is it saying that it's reading this as like this? 2 positive 3? But two expressions in a row like that isn't even legal. So I'm not sure why it's... Let's try giving a higher precedence to something. How do you give higher precedence to something? Precedence. How can I make this sidebar open? Precedence, right into grammar. Precedence. Okay, here we go. Here we go, using precedence. Okay. To produce a readable syntax tree, we'd like to model JavaScript expressions using a much flatter structure like this. Yeah, of course this flat structure is highly ambiguous. We try to generate a parser tree, so it gives us this. This is literally exactly what we just got. Okay, perfect. The bullet character in the error message indicates where exactly during parsing the conflict occurs. Okay, I didn't realize that. For an expression like negative a times b, it's not clear whether the minus operator applies to the okay, got it. To the a times b or just to the a. This is where the prec function described in the previous page comes into play. By wrapping a rule with prec, we can indicate that certain sequences of symbols should bind to each other more. Where'd it go? Precedence. more tightly than others. For example, the minus expression sequence and unit expression should bind more tightly than this. Okay. Gotcha. So for prefix expressions, we want to give it a higher precedence by using this little prec thing. Cool. We can do that. So let's find, what did I just do here? I made a mark and I called it J, and that's showing up in my, how do you kill a mark? Okay, infix operator, infix expression. So this should be precedence of two. Is that high enough? Is 2 a good number? And then we'll give the other one something like 1. Sorry, that was infix. Whoops. We want this on prefix, so prefix should have the higher one. Okay. How did I start coding? I started coding in JavaScript, actually, on Khan Academy when I was like 12 or 13 years old. Cool. Okay. Let's try that. See what happens. Shwink. Uh-oh. Okay. So we only have an expression and then an infix operator and then an expression and then a plus. It doesn't know. Oh, because we don't. I get it. It doesn't know whether to be left associative or right associative. Specify a left or right associativity in infix expression. Cool. Okay, wasn't that the next section in those docs? Using associativity. Applying a higher precedence in unary expression fixes that conflict. There's still another conflict. Sure enough, for expressions like that, it's not clear whether we meant this or that exactly. This is where prec.left and prec.right come into use. Okay. We want to select the second interpretation, so we use prec.left. All right, so we just do that. Dot left. Sorry, that was a prefix. Oh, we got to give our expressions. Oh dear, we got to give each. Oh dear. Okay. Yeah, we're doing this all wrong with operators. See how this is? Okay. Let's try to do something more like this. So we'll give prefixes like a really high precedence, like 5. Or maybe 10. I don't know, something really big. And then this will be, you know, a choice between a bunch of different things. Like this guy is one of the options. Okay. What's something's not happy here? Okay. This would be okay, this is prec.left, and you're doing like, yeah, okay, we'll just do that. Sorry, that's not how this works. We could just do that. Yeah, let's do that. And then make another one. So minus, it has the same precedence. And then these guys are 2, and this is multiplication and division. Exponentiation, oops, sorry, it has a 3, and it looks like this. And then the other infix operators, like the comparison ones, have a much lower precedence. What is the precedence order of these ones? I don't even know, but it's definitely lower. What is the precedence order of infix operators? Times, divide, minus, plus, less than, greater than, less than or equal, greater than or equal, equal, not equal. Precedence order of the infix operators you listed is as follows from highest to lowest. All right, that makes sense. Okay, so let's do that. So we're not actually using this anymore. Actually, we don't really need that either, because we can turn this into can't see anything with this guy in the way. We'll do this could be positive. Sorry, this could be positive. This could be negative, or it could be falsified. All right, so then we've got a few more here. Right, so like exponentiation's good, but then we also have like less than, greater than, less than or equal. We have greater than or equal, and we have equal, and then we have not equal. Okay, so this is precedence is all wrong. So let's order these in order. So this guy would be highest precedence, then these guys, then those guys. Okay, this is good. So then this guy becomes 1 and 1. This guy becomes 2, 2, 2, and 2. This becomes 3 and 3. This becomes 4. Sorry. Oh dear. R4 and 4, and this guy's 5. That should be the right precedence. All right, let's try that. Specify a higher precedence and variable declaration than other rules. This is interesting. Sorry. This is trying to parse. Have to go now. Bye. See ya. This looks like it's trying to parse a function call, right? Like ident and then open thing and then ident colon, like a label and then a thing here, and it's not sure. Because you could stick a yeah, so we'll just give those a higher precedence, and that should fix it, like it suggested. You know, something like 2. These are actually really nice errors when you understand that this is where it ran into the problem. Okay, I don't think I actually want higher precedence for... I feel like variable declaration should be the lowest. And then we're back to this function call thing. So function call, well, higher precedence and type. Maybe that's what we want. Sweet, it totally worked. Okay, so that's good. It's an expression, it's a variable declaration, ident, expression, and literal. Cool. And then you can name these things too. So like, for example, in my variable declaration, we'll say, right, field, this is variable name, is that. And now it says like variable, no it doesn't. Alright, well, but what if we wrote the test? I think you could, I think is the point. Okay, so let's try bringing back all of our syntax. Let's go back over to this guy and take all this. Shoink. Okay, and then put that there. Try this, see what happens. It's probably gonna have some errors. Sure enough. Alright, so let's add it in piece by piece instead of all at once. So let's go back to this is what we did have. Right, okay, let's try that. That's fine. Okay, what if I add this and I make another one? Maybe even give it a type. Should my language formatter format things like this or like this? I kind of like this. That's happy. So where did it go sad? If I make a function, make it a flag or something, leave that up to the user. Okay, although I really do like very opinionated formatters, but I know that's kind of a controversial topic. Well, for the sake of this test, I'll just do it like that. Where's our no. No. This guy. Where do you go? From here. Let's try taking this. Okay. Put this in here. And then comment out this. Okay. Let's try that. That's fine, there's a bunch of comments at the end, so if I uncomment this now, we'll have to get rid of that. It's fine. Oh no, that's not fine. It is not fine. Oh, unexpected comma. Are my function parameters not comma separated? Function call. Repeat function parameter. Sure enough. So we can do that little. So I'm gonna make this optional sequence of function parameter, and this could have that there. Hey, I want to make a programming language for my final project in college. How difficult is it? Any advice before starting? Thanks. This will be my first attempt at a compiled language, so I can't really tell you how difficult it'll be. I know it depends a lot on like whether you use LLVM or whether you use something else or whether you don't use any of those backends. So I can't really tell you about a compiled one yet because I haven't made one yet, but I know there's people in the chat that have. However, interpreted languages, if they're not super complicated, are pretty not super simple, but not super hard, I've found. So maybe start with an interpreted language and go from there. I feel like I should extract this out into like a little helper. I'm gonna write lists, right? List. It's easy until you start adding complicated features like sum types or pattern matching. Then it gets really difficult. I'm gonna make a helper called or I'll say like separated list. Separator rule. And then I don't even know how to write normal JavaScript anymore. I never write it. Like what, how does it, how do you not know what type this is and just be fine with that? That seems really weird. Okay. And then I'll make like a non-empty one, I guess. Oh, wait, that was the non-empty. This one's the same thing, but it's like optional. So then every time I have that pattern, also CodeGen is really hard unless you're using something like QB or LLVM, but then it's still hard because you have to map high-level features to low-level IR. Like we don't need this expression list anymore, maybe, because this just becomes a non-empty separated list with that and expression. Where was that? Here, no, function parameter. Expression list. This thing becomes non-empty, that again. What's wrong with this? What are you talking about? Function parameter. Okay, so this needs to be that. And the function call, I think I made the same mistake. This could also be empty. Yeah, that's... that should be the trick. Cool, let's try this again. Check it out. No, never mind, there are errors. Do you recommend using AI, or should I go and search for every problem I stumble on? Because I feel AI, although useful, it makes one very lazy. I have found AI to be handy sometimes, but it's just like another like Google or something. Like I just use it to just to look stuff up sometimes. But I don't tend to use it a whole lot. I'd say long term, you don't ever want to use what I see says, as long as you're learning and not just copying, it doesn't matter. Like if you're just copying, like copy pasta stuff, and you don't understand it, then I'd say, well, it's just like copying stuff off of like Stack Overflow and not understanding it. It's just like you're not gonna understand it, right? But if it's like, oh, that's what it is, and you like really get what it's saying, then it's like finding a good answer on Stack Overflow. Like it's the same thing to me. All right, what's the problem here though? Oh, because we don't actually support this yet. That's why. Let's try that again. Now there's no errors. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's add a semicolon back here. Let's get rid of all these semicolons. And are there any errors in here? No. Awesome. So let's just take all this, joink, copy that, and then make that be our expected result in here. Not sure if that's cheating or not, but I think it works. Fix the indentation. So now we're expecting that. If we run our test, ding, 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 it works. Let's just verify this is what we expect. So we have a source file. Then there's a comment and there's another comment. So two comments. That's this comment and this comment. Then there's an expression, which is this. This is the expression. The expression is a variable declaration. It is an ident and then an expression, which is an int literal. This is the ident and this is the expression, which is an int literal. Then there's a comment, which is this guy. Then there's an expression, which is this guy. This whole thing. It's a variable declaration. It has an ident, which is bar. It has a type, which is an ident, int, and has an expression, which is an int literal, which is 4. Then there's another comment and another comment. That'd be this this comment and this comment. Then we have another expression that's a variable declaration. That's this calc fun, right? It has an ident, right, which is mapped to an expression, which is a function expression, which has function parameters. Two function parameters, this guy and this guy. They're both type with an ident, yep. And then we have another type at the end here, which is this guy. And then we have an expression, a couple expressions in here, right? This one and this one. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. I don't think I have to go through the whole thing. So that's awesome. Now we might want to attach some fields and stuff to this as soon as we start getting syntax highlighting to work. But for now, let's just try to get that. Anybody in chat have any experience making this work in neovim? ICXD, what editor do you use? And have you tried neovim? And have you tried getting tree sitter highlighting for your own custom language to work in neovim? Because I have tried this with little success in the past. I have gotten it to work in Z. All right, let's just try it. So I need to do something in my dot files. Let's go to my dot files. Get rid of all this stuff. Okay. Where is neovim? Here we go. Neovim down in here. Okay. Plugins. Use VS Code with Vim key bindings. One of those people. No, I'm just kidding. That's great. I did that too for a while. All my syntax highlighting is made using VSIX. What is that? I don't even know what that is. What is VSIX? Is that a VS Code thing? VSIX syntax highlighting. Some VS Code stuff. Alright, well, we're trying to do it the real way without a tree setter. So let's I guess we'll figure this out. So I've done a little bit of this, like, okay. Do you see fen in here? Yeah, see, I added. This is interesting. Okay, so I need to make another, let's add another one. Yes, this is where I was trying it for fen. So fen was my other language. Nah, note to self, this looks really good and everything, but it did not work. So I'm gonna make another section in here, set up stuff for lovely. You have neovim and I use it sometimes, but it's just such a pain to maintain. Plus VS Code has all my plugins. Yeah, no, I totally get it. That's why, that was like why I switched to Z for like 1 week, but then I just couldn't do it, so I had to come back. Use Z too, but I found it's still missing a couple features that I have in VS Code that I like. Yep, Z is not quite there yet, I discovered. But it is really good. Super fast too. Alright, so we'll try some of this stuff. So the first thing you have to do is like register a file type. So if I like have you know, a test lovely file in here, let's copy over some test lovely code from, you know, like right here. Joink. Okay. Yep. If I switch to a GUI editor, well, the two editors I have my eyes on right now are Helix and Z. Helix is like another terminal editor like neovim, and then Z, you know, Z. So, all right, so we don't actually support this yet, so we'll do that. If I say, how do you do it? It's like set file type something. Then it spits out down here. Oh dear, here, let me move myself up here. There we go. Uh-oh, I'm behind chat. Oh, down here, okay. If I set file type, then down here it says file type equals nothing, right? So we need to switch that to say lovely. So over here, this is what we do. We say, I think you can do it right here for like forever, right? So this would be lovely, or no. If it's the extension is .lv, then make the file type be lovely. And now let me quit out of here and open this. And now if I say set file type, oops, set file type, then look at this, file type equals lovely. So we're good. So now it knows what type of file this is. If I go, for example, to like LSP info, maybe not. Okay, I take that back. Where is this? Okay, down here. Okay. You could say that's pretty lovely. Ha ha ha. Okay. Funny guy, this I see. Such a comedian in chat, totally. You can tell because the last, 25 messages are all yours. Alright, so then we register like a language of tree sitter, I guess, like this. Register, lovely. I have no idea what this line does. I guess we could go read the actual documentation. Maybe I should just delete this and start from scratch. Because this didn't work. And I don't want to be misled by anything I wrote before. But this did obviously work. So we have a new file type, because if I go here and if I tell it to print out the file type, which for some reason you use set for it, it says it's lovely right there. So let's open up the neovim documentation. You know it's going to be a fun day when you have to do that. Open this up. Joink. Okay. Neovim. Oh dear. Not warp. Not a big warp fan. Alright, I want like documentation. I want like tree sitter maybe. Tree sitter parsers. Parser files. Hang on, tree sitter, no, tree sitter, syntax highlighting. Yeah, these aren't the best docs. I don't know, every once in a while you find some docs that I feel like are really good, but it's certainly not a very common occurrence. You're right. Syntax highlighting is specified through queries. Yeah, I know how to do this. Well, I think I do. But how do I like set up? Yeah. This is just like tree sitter documentation. IC prefers to complain than to fix the problem. The amulet spec is gonna be splendid. We gotta see to that, Stefan, you and I. Keep him honest. Yeah, Lovely's gonna have like a great like website and lovely documentation. It's gonna be, everything about it's gonna be lovely. Alright, is there anything else in here about tree sitter? Tree sitter. Adding your own. I'm getting covered up by my little cast, aren't I? I'm gonna go down here. There we go. Adding your own parser or tree sitter parser to neovim. That's just this is good. I'm developing a language and was wondering how do you write a tree sitter parser for it along the syntax highlighting. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a reference in documentation. Tree sitter, yeah, I already know that. Oh shucks. Okay. This isn't helpful. There's Tej. Here we go. Custom parser for a language. Is he wants to use this parser for Lua. He's tried this. And that works. Well, let's try what he did first. And then if it doesn't work, we'll try his solution. Although this is still an open issue, so maybe there's not a solution. So he did... If I shrink this a little bit, there we go. Okay. Alright, so you did local parser config is require or nvim tree sitter dot parsers. Sure enough, it is a thing. It's trying to autocomplete it for me. Dot get parser configs, this guy. Cool. Now I'm gonna say parser config this guy dot lua neo. Okay, so we don't have lua neo. We need to do like lovely. Is this? I do not know Lua enough to understand what this message is saying to me. Okay, so he's linking it to like a GitHub repo, so maybe we should do that. We need to push this up to GitHub first. Let's jump over to our grammar. So we'll tree sitter generate and then parsing syntax roughly. Git push origin master. All right, now we have it on GitHub. Just got a text that might be important. Nope, not important. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go back over here. So now we have it on GitHub, so I can kind of go back to this. It's telling me install info. You give it a URL, HTTPS, github.com, tree sitter, lovely. Files should be the same. Is there a scanner on mine? Where is mine? I reload this. Source has no. There's just a parser. So this is the C that gets generated. That's fun. So we'll just maybe do this one, I guess. Files. Oh, sorry. Source parser.c, and then location is tree sitter. Lovely. Does mine have that? I don't know. What's this location? Revision? Do you have to actually have the exact commit SHA? Let's find that. This one. This is the commit SHA. It's in CA7. Ends in CA7. Okay. Let's add another one here. File type is lovely. And we don't need to specify the maintainer, surely. Alright, now if I quit this and open it back up, and then I open up like my test. Whoa, it gave me like a TS install. Lovely. Do you see that? Awesome. And then how do you see like list parser? It's like parser list or grammar. Oh, inspectory. Uh-oh. Problems. If I were to go in here and inspect tree, it works, see? That's what we wanted. Building a programming language from scratch in another programming language frame? Dude, are you for real? To do what? Switch off the light? Not even. Wait, what? What do you mean in another programming language frame? What do you mean by that? So we're not getting the same exact error he's getting. What type of language? This is going to be a low-level systems language for making an operating system. The end goal is to make an operating system. Any neovim gurus out there know what's going on? Yeah, Stefan, I don't really understand either. Andrea? What's this guy? Oosh. Check this out. No parser for lang nil. It says this compiling thing and then it never like finishes. Downloading, creating temporary directory, extracting tree setter, lovely, compiling, and then nothing, right? All right, let's ask Google how to add use custom tree sitter parser in neovim. Oh, check this out. What is this? Oh, this is right. This is in the documentation. Adding parsers. If you have a parser that is not on the list of supported languages, either as a repository on GitHub or in a local directory, you can add it manually for use by neovim tree sitter as follows. Oh sweet, this is what I want. Cool, okay. Adding queries, adding parsers. Go in the repo or create a new project and say that. Make sure that the tree sitter CLI executable is installed on your path. Okay, this wants me to do it locally. I can do it locally. So we added the file type. And then, okay, so we do get the parser config, and then we say that lovely install info URL. It says local path or git repo. So I'll leave it as that. If folder contains pre-generated, mine already does. Okay, so I'm gonna say requires generate from grammar false, because it already has the parser .c. Guess we don't need that revision, so we'll comment that out for now. And then if you wish to set a specific parser for file type, you should use this. Oh, I didn't do that. vim.tree sitter.language.register. Lovely. Lovely. How's that? Then start neovim. Okay, so quit neovim first, and ts install lovely. It says compiling. Doesn't say it's done compiling. If I open up test.lovely, You can skip step 2. And then you have to add queries. That's fine. We can do that later. I don't know if this is significant, but in GitHub example, they use the file extension as the file type, and you use your lang name. Here, this is true. This is true. Big Smoke, wish you luck. I would like to see your journey more, but school is keeping me busy. That's all right. Thank you so much, man. All right, I'll give what Kay said a shot. Can't hurt, right? So let's do, see, but I thought this would take, because this file type adds lovely as a file type, so I thought this would work, but V, we'll do that. All right, let me do lovely. If I open test, it's kind of saying the same thing, isn't it? It says the file type down here is lovely. Yeah, same thing. So I don't really think that changed anything. Because even without that, it knows that this is lovely. So I'm sort of stumped. I have, on the other hand, so I've never done this kind of stuff before, so I really can't help you. No worries. Yeah, I'll just have to keep slogging through. I just wish there was like a decent video of somebody doing this before. Hey, I'm new to your stream. I'm curious why you want to create a new language instead of using a pre-existing one. Because, good question. The purpose of this whole thing is just to learn and to have fun, right? And not to try to finish very fast. And so with that end, I figured I'd have more fun and learn more if I did it in my own language. So if that makes sense. Adding your own tree setter parser neovim. Yeah, none of these are right. Let's create a neovim plugin using tree setter and Lua. That's cool. Good luck. Thank you, Swole. See, what is this? Setting up tree sitter blade. just want to see your code, man. Student center. What is he trying to do? I'm trying to get syntax highlighting working for my language, and to do that, I'm writing a tree sitter parser or tree sitter grammar. Why don't you use something like nvchat? Nvchat wouldn't fix my problem. Nor would Mason. I don't use Mason or nvchat, but neither of them would solve this problem. I'm trying to install my own custom tree sitter grammar, right? And so those sort of a different problem. Oh, here we go. This is interesting. When building an operating system from scratch, I did that this morning. I do those streams most mornings, and this one later in the day, most days. So I thought you were trying to set up tree sitter for your neovim. My bad. Oh no, no worries. Yeah, tree sitter set up. I have that for all my other languages. I'm trying to set it up for my own language now. Yeah. So this is promising. Install info. Andrea, what are you saying? I don't understand. What made him go to GitHub here? Awesome, Student Center. Yeah, I normally don't watch videos on these, but this is... You guys can't hear him, can you? How can I make you guys hear him? Can you guys hear him now? And how is that volume?
Didn't work. True. You guys know me. Big time drug user. Big time.
Low volume. How's that?
Install if revision doesn't match. I don't know.
Yeah, this isn't really my problem.
Mike's dang. I don't want to. How do I new? First. Making install missing parsers when ending a buffer. Is get. I think we're right. It's fun. So go to my config. Okay, so this should at least. Oh, so then I want to go to my config. And spot. Well, this is a good test. This should be set up Laravel DevTools.
Come on, Tej. I need you to help me. When does this section go till? 3652. Yeah, we're already past it. Okay. So there wasn't really anything in there. Man, I kind of would just like DM him on Twitter or something. What was that other one that looked kind of promising? Like creating a plugin. Like I'm not creating a plugin, but this might.
I am David, your developer on duty, and in this video we will create a neovim plugin. The newest version of neovim comes with support for TreeSitter, which is a fast parser for programming languages. It creates an abstract syntax which gives us some helper functions. For this package, there's also a note to the function and method buffer. What we just so and the other argument is the node itself. And you can add as one is then and all here with ts utils.
Mohanraj, have I looked at this? If you're trying to send a link, you can't send links in YouTube chat. Sorry about that. But if you wanted to somehow make it not look like a link to YouTube or send it in the Discord, there's a link in the description, either one. All right, those videos aren't really getting me anywhere. What to do? So I have set this up successfully in Z. So I could do that. I'm not really going to be writing it in Z though, so I don't know why I do that. No items. Inspect tree. Wait, what did that say? TS track. Okay. What to do? Come on, guys, we gotta get this working. Surely there's somebody out there. Alright, back to dot files. This is the dot files. Back to this thing here. Okay. We have a revision. If I open up the test thing, it says it's downloading and extracting, and then it says compiling, and it doesn't finish compiling. Well, maybe we will try to fix this the following week. Or not following week, the following video. Because I'm pretty stumped. And sometimes if I come back to stuff after a while, it helps me think through it. And we're also almost at 2 hours, so this would be a good stopping point. It's about lunchtime for me. Alright, well, I'll stop it here. Thanks everybody for being on and for the help. And maybe tomorrow, probably tomorrow, we'll do the next Lovely stream. And we'll try to resolve these issues. Because I'm not really sure what the matter is here. Unless it's this, because I have no idea what this means. ts install, lovely. Shwink, compiling. Oh my goodness, did you see that? Wait. Look, it's installed. It worked. Now, inspect tree isn't working. But it actually finished compiling when I took out this line. What are the chances? Right when I was about to end the stream. Okay, wait, so we just got like one step closer. If I do ts install lovely, yeah. Okay, do you see that? Okay, I've gotten that error before, ABI version mismatch. I'm gonna go up there. Oh, that's behind chat. I'm gonna go down here. ts install lovely. If I do it, it says ABI version mismatch. Tree sitter neovim ABI version mismatch. Ta-da! Seems there's a breaking. This was 4 years ago. Wasn't this before tree sitter was even baked into neovim? This is specifically for Arch Linux. Hey, here's our buddy Tej. All right, well, we got one step closer right there at the end, but I'll still stop there for sake of time. But yeah, thanks everybody for getting on, and until next time.